After 7 months of filming the show out of my personal gaming den, I kind of feel like it needs a facelift, a bit of a new vibe. How about oh, I mean, it's certainly a different vibe, just not a nice one. Ugh. Everforward comes to us from Pythia, the same team behind My Time at Portia. And while that game was full of colourful critters and farming, this one is a wholly new experience, and an intriguing one at that. As a pandemic sweeps across the world, everyone is forced to remain inside. You play as Maya, a young girl whose scientist mother is working on a defense against the pandemic, but she wants to take matters into her own hands. Surprise, surprise, it all goes out of control as she slips into a strange dreamscape world, unsure of how she arrived. Little fragments of the story are revealed to you as you complete the game's main objective, puzzles. Why is this poor lost girl completing puzzles? Don't ask silly questions. Traveling across a picturesque land, you'll encounter glitching and broken fragments of the world. These are your lost memories. Approach them and you'll glitch your way into a barren, technology-driven realm. Here be puzzles, or more specifically, one type of puzzle. All you'll need to do to progress is pick up a simple box, move said simple box to a simple beam of light, and that's it. So that's why I'm giving Everforward. Just kidding. Whilst the concept for the puzzles remains the same, the game constantly throws new ideas into the mix. In her efforts to help her mother, Maya created the Roundybots, though in the puzzle realm, they don't help. They do the opposite of helping. These dastardly droids will take you down if they see you, so you'll need to avoid their line of sight. They also detect sound, so if you jump or throw your box, they'll be on high alert, though that's not always a bad thing. Everforward does a great job of taking what you expect and twisting it on its head. There's also pressure plates, moving platforms, and a slew of other bizarre mechanics revealed as the game rolls on. At the completion of each puzzle, you'll get a fragment of Maya's story, and watch as the darkness fades away, breathing life back to the ravaged world. And whilst the game is pretty, there's some top-tier visual design on display here, I didn't get to see all that much of it with my head firmly buried in my hands. This game can get tricky, and when I say can, I mean does, and fast. Each new puzzle mechanic is introduced without warning or tutorial, which is fine. It's honestly pretty rewarding to decipher what needs to be done on your own. But when you're teleported into a world and this keeps happening, it can get a little frustrating. You'll need patience and a big helping of trial and error, watching and waiting for the perfect time to drop a cube. Also know that even when you're certain you've nailed it, the game often doesn't feel like playing along. There's a fair few bugs like clipping outside of the world or puzzles not loading correctly, but the biggest issue is actually the game's design. The detection beam of those pesky Roundybots is impossible to see. You'll need to angle your camera just right to reveal where it's safe to stand. Some solutions feel like you've borderline broken the game, and want to climb a ledge? Make sure you're right up against it and are given the prompt. Jump too early and you'll alert the bots and fail the puzzle. It's 2020. There are easier ways to climb up ledges, people. But despite everything, I still enjoyed myself. Getting to the bottom of Maya's desperate story always spurred me on, and the ever-changing puzzles certainly kept me on my toes. It's also a fairly short experience, so even in your most frustrating hour, just know you're almost there. Everforward, perhaps unsurprisingly, is a story of perseverance, and that goes for the gameplay too. I'm giving it 3 out of 5 rubber chickens.